I'm Nicole Gibbons. I'm an interior designer and a paint expert, and I'm here to help you pick the perfect paint color. Choosing the right paint color for your space can totally transform the look. It can make a small space feel larger, it can make a large space feel cozier, and it can even transform your mood and the way that you feel when you walk through the door. My first tip for you is about light. The number one thing to consider when you're choosing a paint color is the natural light in your space. Believe it or not, natural light has a huge impact on the way that you'll perceive that color in your home. If you understand the direction that your light source is coming from, that is the key to choosing a color that you'll love. North-facing light, for example, tends to take on a bluer hue and it's a lot cooler, and north-facing rooms also don't get direct sunlight. So you want to choose a color that is a little bit warmer to balance that out. In contrast, a south-facing room tends to be really warm and sunny and almost takes on a golden tone, so you want to choose a cooler hue to balance that out. East and west facing light tends to be like more of a chameleon. It can change throughout the course of the day as the sun rises and sets, so you want to make sure that you sample a color to make sure you love the way it looks all day long. My second tip is about how color is perceived in context. You also want to be mindful of the other colors that are around your space, particularly when it comes to choosing neutrals, which can be really tricky. So for example, if you have a huge picture window with lots of greenery outside, that might create a green cast back onto your neutral walls that might alter the way that the color looks. Or if you have a bright blue rug, that might create a blue cast on your wall. Make sure that when you're sampling a color, you're aware of the other colors that surround your space. My third tip is about sampling. You want to make sure that you love the way the color looks no matter where the light hits it, so it's super important to move your samples around the room. At Clare, we've made sampling really easy with this peel and stick swatch, so you literally just peel it off like a sticker. You can stick it right on your wall and reposition it, so it makes it really easy to move it around the room and see exactly what it looks like under different light sources. If you don't have these and you're sampling using the traditional way with sample pots, you'll just want to make sure that you paint swatches all around your room so that you can really see what it looks like under different light sources. It sounds annoying, but it's still way easier than repainting a whole room. My fourth tip is about choosing the right finish. When it comes to choosing paint finishes, the options can be overwhelming, but when you boil it down, it's really as simple as the more reflective the finish, the more imperfections it will show. And I really love keeping finishes simple in interiors. The best finish for your walls is eggshell. Eggshell is going to have just a subtle sheen, but it's matte enough that it'll hide all the flaws on your wall. It also is durable, so you can wash it and it can withstand just sort of everyday wear and tear on your walls. Then for trims, so things like doors, cabinets, baseboards, moldings, I always go semi-gloss. A semi-gloss finish is slightly more reflective than an eggshell finish. It's going to contrast beautifully with the eggshell on your walls, and it's really, really durable. The finish that you choose isn't going to have a big impact on the way the color is perceived, but it is going to change the way that light bounces off of it. So the shinier the finish, so if you're going semi-gloss, it's going to reflect a lot of light. So if you have bright lights in your room, you might see those sort of bright spots, whereas a flat finish is going to absorb more light so that you just see the color and there's no reflectancy. If you have no clue where to start when it comes to choosing a color palette, there's 3 approaches you can take. Number 1 is to go neutral on your walls and let your furniture pop. So for example, if you have a bold colored sofa, then just choose a gray or a beige or something really safe and let the other colors in your room really be the standout. The second approach is to go bold on your walls. So that means going with a fun, vibrant color and letting your furniture and the rest of the elements in your space be pretty neutral. The third approach, which I always love, is to choose a monochrome palette, which means working with colors within the same color family. So for example, if you have a dark blue sofa, you could go softer blue on the walls and then bring in accents that are medium blue. A monochromatic look is always safe and feels really, really sophisticated. Painting is the one thing that you can do to really make your house feel like yours and turn your space into a home. And it requires a little bit of effort, but the impact is so worth it. I hope these tips encourage you to get painting in your own space, and if you have any questions, drop them in the comments below.